Jeremy has been kind enough. He's girlfriend's from Russia,
Yeah.
and I know you know a lot of information about Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to share with us some of the things that you're knowledgeable about.
Yeah.
But give me a second here, Floyd.
Of course.
Okay, we're ready.
All right. Well, so to understand Russia, you got to talk about its history. First off, the name is actually a name that the Arabs used to give to the Vikings, because the Vikings used to go up and down the Volga into the Black Sea, particularly to Constantinople and even to Baghdad, bringing wax, furs, honey, hides, and their most important cargo, slaves. They were slave traders. And the Arabs called them Rus, because it's referring to a hair color not commonly found in the Middle East, red hair. That's why it's called Russia, the Rus, they're Scandinavians. And history, of course, they're not the first people in Russia. Those would have been a group of people called the Scythians, a Greek name for nomadic horse tribes living in an area of Europe stretching pretty much from Moldova to Mongolia. They were mostly in Russia, especially around the Crimea, down into the Caucasus, even around Novgorod and Moscow. A lot of Russia, we're going to talk also about their traditions. A lot of their traditions come from actually the Roman Empire, in particular the eastern half, also called the Byzantines. Such example would be the Orthodox Christianity, which is Byzantine. The two-headed eagle is also Byzantine, and a lot of their political titles, such as Tsar, which is a Slavic term, which means Caesar, which is what the emperors of Rome were called. The two-headed eagle is adopted when Ivan III of Moscow married a Byzantine princess and adopted some of her family, which was the last dynasty of Byzantium, into Russia. That's why almost stereotypically in pictures of old Russia, there's always the double-headed eagle with the sword and the globe. With Orthodoxy, Russia converted from paganism to Christianity about 988 AD, when Vladimir the Bright Sun sent emissaries out to see what religion to convert to. He was disgusted with Catholicism, didn't like being considered the one of the earth of Judaism, didn't like that Islam forbid him from eating pork and getting drunk. Remember, he was a Viking, and they drank heavily. And then his emissaries they sent to Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, said that they did not know whether they were in heaven or earth because of the beauty of it. And he's like, I like this, let's bring it in. Also, another way that Russia converted was when the Slavic alphabet, also the Cyrillic alphabet, was made. That's the alphabet. It's combining Greek and Hebrew for its letters, because there's just some sounds in Slavic that you don't find in the Latin alphabet. That's why they have Cyrillic, as it's called. And of course, familiar with the Tsar, their history. I mean, they've been overrun by lots of people: Goths, Vikings, Huns, Mongols, Crusaders, the Nazis. Yet they've remained uniquely Russian, and as a result, they're kind of distrustful of outsiders.
What area is your girlfriend from?
Krasnodar. That's down from the Black Sea in the Caucasus. It used to be called Circassia in the 1800s, before the Russians and the Ottoman Turks tried to wipe out every Circassian in existence.
Has she ever told you anything, stories about her childhood growing up?
Not really. She has told me some stories. Like, I was asking her about, like, Baba Yaga and Koshai, and apparently in Russia, if you call someone a Baba Yaga, it's an insult, basically, for lack of a better word, a bitch.
That's that narrative about the witch that lives in the swamps?
Yeah, with the wooden legs and the iron teeth.
I remember that. I never knew wooden legs, but I knew iron teeth.
Wooden legs, iron teeth, and travels around in a mortar and a pestle. Mortar is what used to crush things, and pestle is the club used for crushing. So she flies around in a mortar and pestle and stirs up disease. And we're also going to talk about Russian folklore. The entity known as Koshai the Deathless. I want to say he's kind of like a warlock, whose soul is not in his body because he hid it inside of an egg, inside of a duck, inside of a rabbit, inside of a goat. That's why he can't be killed.
What?
Yeah.
Sounds very similar to the Harry Potter narrative.
Yeah, that's where she got the Horcrux idea from, was from Koshi the Deathless. Other entities include the Firebird. The Domovoy is a ancestral spirit, usually like a long ancestor that guards the family in the home. And a lot of folklore in Russia usually involves animals, particularly wolves and bears. Like the bear is commonly a symbol of Russia, but in some stories, like Prince Ivan and the Firebird, it's called a donor, or it's like a helper, and basically the wolf pretty much saves them and shows them how to, kill Koshai. Like, hey, see this egg? That's his soul. Destroy it.
Good job. Can you think of anything else?
I'm trying to think of some other things. Some common symbols of Russia from its medieval period include a big old axe called the bardiche. It's if you guys ever watched Deadliest Warrior, in the episode with Ivan the Terrible, it's that big old axe. That's kind of a holdover from the time when they were the Vikings. The Vikings brought the axe, a big old axe called the Dane axe, into Russia, and it was adopted to Russian standards. During the time the Russians hid in the forest from the Mongols, they always had two symbols in their house. They had the bardiche, and they had the icon. The icon is from Orthodox Christianity, and it's very much a symbol of Orthodoxy. We're going to talk about Orthodoxy, the candle. In Russian Orthodoxy, they use candles for lives. For a symbol, I had to look on the internet for this. It's pretty much saying the light of God is with you. At weddings, funerals, services, there's always candles. The onion dome also has two forms. One form of it is for, to keep snow from piling on and crushing the roof. The other is to represent the candle.
Oftentimes they come in forms of three.
Yep, that's the Trinity.
Representing the Trinity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What is the food like?
Hmm?
The food?
The food, they eat stuff like blintz, which is kind of like a pancake, cheese pancake almost. Vodka, of course, which was actually brought in from Poland. Borscht, which is a soup. Caviar. Eat a lot of meats. Very much a diet you find in the extreme north.
Excellent. Any other questions?
Do you know how modern Russia is today?
Modern Russia, well, it's still in a way, it's still recovering from the Cold War. I mean, sure, the western half of it, like Moscow, Novgorod, Krasnodar, is modernized, but Siberia, a lot of it is, I mean, sure you have cities like Vladivostok, but a lot of it's still forest called taiga, and there's still a lot of Tungustic peoples out there, still practicing shamanism, like the Nenets, who live above the Arctic Circle. One thing you gotta remember about Russia is not one ethnic group. There's dozens.
60.
Yeah.
Over 60.
Over 60. That's even recognized. Some of them don't even know about the outside world. If you want to see a video with them, watch Wild Boys, one of the Russia episodes. We go and visit the Nenets and partake in some very bizarre customs with them.
I haven't seen that.
It's been off the jackass.
Oh, okay. Excellent, Jeremy. Thank you. Good
No
job.
problem.